Just remember, FPL is tough, but you are tougher. Hi guys, I'm FPL Nymphrya and welcome back to the home of FPL videos. I'm coming to you off of the back of my first wildcard and well, it's been interesting. Not necessarily in a good way though. I sold McCarthy for Martinez. McCarthy has kept one clean sheet all season and it came this week. Can you actually believe it? He's made only 5 saves this season, 2 of them were vital in that match against Burnley. Thankfully, Martinez matched him to add 6 points to my team total, otherwise that really would have hurt. Again, my defence, the woes continued here. Along with selling McCarthy, I shipped out KWP, who also managed his first clean sheet of the season. I switched him for Dunn last minute. I hadn't considered a Burnley defender all week on my wildcard after my Peters incident, and those of you that follow me on YouTube will know what I mean by that. But I've seen a few people with Dunn in their teams as a 4 million enabler, so I took the leap. To be fair, I'll take his 2 points, but Burnley do not look great at the back this season. Nowhere near as good as they did last season, so long term this is very concerning. I switched Lewis for Sace, which happened to be an absolutely nothing move. I mean, what was the point? They both got 0 points. Fabulous, great, thanks. As you know, I'd been debating Robertson over Trent since pre-season, and on my wildcard I decided to take the plunge on Robertson for 0.5 cheaper. Well, this was my big plus in defence this week. Robbo managed to get 10 points towards my team total. I'd definitely take that. What I will say though is Trent looked back to his best last night. I'm unsure it deserved 3 bonus points though, I've got to be honest. Robertson had a goal, 125 touches, 2 key passes, 12 crosses and 2 long balls. Trent on the other hand got an assist, had less touches with 103, 1 more key pass than Robertson. It's a little odd, that whole 3 bonus points to Trent and 2 to Robertson. Not really sure about that one. Still, it was definitely scary not owning Trent on the eye test, and I wonder now that his form has returned that I should be considering having them both in my team. In midfield, it didn't get any better. After regretting selling Son in Gameweek 2 for his 4 goals and seeing him live it up midweek with even more returns, I decided I couldn't go without him any longer. So even though I had a couple of wildcard drafts without him, I kept coming back to the Sun draft, and boy did I wish I never went back there. You know how they say to never go back to an ex-lover? Well, this. He hit the bar twice in the Newcastle game before going off half-time with a hamstring injury that will see him out for a number of weeks. Well, at first we didn't know it was an injury. It was reported as a purely tactical switch, meaning I was left thinking what I should do with this trolling piece of shizzle, but now of course it's been confirmed that he's out. At least that means I can move him on happily. Well, until he's fit again and my agony starts all over again. 1 point return is just nowhere near good enough, especially for that amount of money in midfield. And when I sold him for Bruno on that whole switcheroo, I mean, you just couldn't write it really, could you? Salah was one of the only 3 who stayed in my team on the wildcard, and he managed to grab me an assist. As my captain, that was a total of 10 points that was sorely needed, especially as he was relatively lowly captained this week for him. I debated heavily over who should take St. Maximin's place in my 4th midfield spot. Foden, Greenwood, Zaha and Podence were all in the running. With that injury news on Podence kind of circling around towards the deadline, I settled on Greenwood as I wanted someone in that United fixture. And I liked the price point of 7.5 million. If you had any doubt how unlucky I've been recently, Greenwood assisted a Rashford goal that was ruled offside, and had a goal in the back of the net himself, which was also ruled offside. That means of the one and only goal that Rashford actually converted onside, he was assisted by Bruno, whom I sold. Another day, and either or both of them goals would have been onside, and it would have been a monster haul. I cannot believe it. And lastly, in my starting midfield, I brought in KDB for Aubameyang. Getting KDB, they said. Leicester riddled with injuries, they said. A goal and an assist against Wolves makes him a shoo-in, they said. 2 points and no returns, returns in a 5-2 thriller to Leicester is what he said. Absolute nightmare. Still, KDB is class, we all know this, and hopefully he's got many more returns in him moving forward. Talking of moving forward, let's take a look at how my forward line got on. Mitro for Brewster did at least net me 2+ points. And what I will say with Mitro is he looked really lively with a shot on target and 5 shots off target. He's definitely getting in the right areas. I just need him to finish some of those chances now. I kept Werner for the West Brom fixture and because of his price point on my wildcard. He had 2 shots on target, 1 shot off target, had a shot blocked and hit the woodwork. Basically, he did everything but score. That said, he was almost Jimenez this week, the only forward I really considered for his spot, so whilst it's only 2 points from Werner, it could have been a lot worse with Jimmy's 0 points. I did switch Che for Calvert-Lewin and that made a difference of 1+ point. So with all of that, I managed a total of 43 points, bang on average. That said, on Sunday night I had 15 points and it looked very bleak. So I scored more points on Monday night, that's 28, than I did in the whole of Game Week 2. Utter madness. And that's why we say never give up. I could have been better off if I'd played Lamperty as he got 4 points for his assist. He came in for Peters, so a positive switch this week, even if it was marked on my bench. Mitchell kept his bench spot while Steer was moved on for Forster, and Soucek, who got an assist, was switched for the cheaper Angucia to free up cash. All in all, leaving my team as it was, I would have been 7 points better off. I am now sat 4,497,678. And that, my friend, is a green arrow, and I am very happy to take it and extremely grateful for it this week. For perspective though, to show my terrible start to the season, I am currently 99 points off of the top 10k. That's going to take some serious points hauling. Looking ahead to Game Week 4, it's tough to be motivated now given where I am, to be honest, but as a content creator, that's our thing. We have to keep on going and not give up. If every team in the Premier League gave up after a few losses, then there just wouldn't be a Premier League. So we move forward, and this is how I'm currently lined up. Here for the entertainment, if nothing else. My one move this week was going to be Werner to Jimenez. That might still happen, though I am considering Ings in that switch also. However, I have the more pressing issue of Sonny to address. I've already taken a drop on him, he dropped last night, and with all the midweek games yet to be played, anything could happen and anyone could emerge. So I've decided to wait, especially considering the whole Podence situation last game week. You know, I don't want to be in a situation like that if I can help it. So the main replacements I am considering for Son at the moment are Mahrez, Foden, Rodriguez or Barnes. If I take a -4 to move Werner up front like I had planned, I could up that forward spot to Vardy or go cheaper there and up the midfield spot to Bruno. Lots to think about and hardly any confidence to do it with, but you know, that's how things are. This just all seems a bit crazy this season. Football just doesn't seem to be quite right at the moment with all these penalties. I mean, we may as well just fill our teams with penalty takers. Games have gone utterly mad. Let's hope it settles soon. As for my captain, my initial thoughts are the curse has disappeared again. This is very odd. I mean, it's extremely sporadic at the moment. I never quite know when it's going to strike. But I'm thinking KDB against Leeds for the moment, but Calvert-Lewin against Brighton, or if I buy Jimenez or Vardy, they could also be in the running. Stay tuned to my streams on Thursday and my social media channels for the final decision. And lastly, moving on to the trending transfers this week, this is where I delve into the trending transfers ahead of next game week, so you can see who's likely to rise and drop in price as well as gauging the bandwagons. So let's take a look at the players in and out ahead of game week 4. Of the goalkeepers, Martinez is the trendiest goalkeeper in with 97,000+ purchases. Alisson is the next highest with 40,000+ buys. Pope is the most transferred out goalkeeper with 39,000+ sales. The next highest and chasing Pope for the trendiest goalkeeper out this week is Ryan, with 30,000+ managers getting rid of the Brighton man. Of the defenders, Doherty is still leading the way for the sales out this week with 90,000+ managers jumping off of the Spurs man. Trent is surprisingly the second most transferred out with 61,000+ sales. Castanone is the main defender FPL managers are turning to with 219,000 plus purchases. Lamberty is also picking up pace though with 137 plus thousand purchases. In midfield, Everton is still hot property this week with 190 plus thousand managers snapping up Rodriguez. Zaha isn't far behind with 179 plus thousand buys. After Son's injury, he is the most switched out midfielder this week with over 573,000 sales. Aubameyang is the next highest midfielder sold this week, but nowhere near as much as Sonny with 96 plus thousand sales. Up front, Werner is still the trendiest forward out so far this week for the third game week running, with 414 plus thousand managers moving on the Chelsea man. Martial is the next highest sold with 156 plus thousand sales. DCL getting another goal this week has enticed managers, making him the trendiest forward in this week with 401 plus thousand buys. The Bamford bus is still rolling for another week though, as 207 plus thousand managers jump aboard the Leeds man. And that's it, you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll be back on Thursday hopefully for another live Dream Team stream. Please feel free to check out my sponsors of this video, fantasyfootballfix.com. And before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Until next time, Nymphria out.